In this video, I'm going to give you a short tour of the Photoshop workspace. There are lots of different ways to set it up, but I'm going to show you my preferred ways. So right now I'm moving around a menu called the Layers menu, and if I want to close it or collapse it, the commands are on the upper left and upper right of any of the menus. A lot of the menus can be sort of attached to the workspace and are easy to pull out by clicking and dragging. And sometimes they consolidate and collapse for you. Anytime that you see a little double arrow here, you can expand one of these panels and it'll give you more information about the function of that panel. Now, not every panel is going to be open every time you open Photoshop. That's why you need to know about the workspace. So if you want to reset the workspace, you can go to Window, which is a drop-down menu, Workspace, and there are several workspaces here that are presets. You can also create your own workspace and save it. But for our purposes, it's really standard to use the Essentials. So this is the Essentials workspace that I'm on, but I've moved things around so it might not be the default settings. So the easiest thing to do is just go in and hit Reset Essentials, and then menus sort of pop back into the Essential format. So I'm going to go over to the right-hand side of the screen and show you how to collapse things that you're not interested in seeing. So in the upper right-hand corner, there's a double arrow, and I can collapse and uncollapse that. That made a lot more space. I can also pull out different tabs from a panel. So this is Layers, Channels, and Paths. If I'm only using the layers, which most of the time I am, I can pull it out, expand it by clicking and dragging, and then close the other ones. So this 3-line icon here, or maybe it's 4, is a flyout menu. So the flyout menu gives me all of the options pertaining to the particular panel that I'm on. So just to sum it up, we have X to close this, double arrow to collapse it, and then the flyout menu for options. We are going to go more in depth into things like the layers panel, different ones that are used more frequently, but the arrangement of the workspace is entirely up to you, and it's good to know that you can default it. So for my purposes, I'm going to be using layers a lot, and I'm also going to be using swatches. So that's where I would go to the Windows drop-down and find the panels or menus that I use the most. So swatches is something I use a lot, and it came up over here. I'm going to pull it out just so that we can see it a little bit better. I'm going to see if there's anything else like brushes that I use a lot, especially for our next tutorial. And I think I'll just go through and say that a lot of people like to use the history panel because that tells you how to go back through the actions that you've done and undo things. So we'll leave that here. And normally I don't cover my field with panels or menus, but this is so that we can see it a little bit better. And anything else that's in here, I think I can get later if I need to. I think this is enough for me to work with. So if I'm looking for more space, I can always go in and collapse these other groups, and you can see it's quite consolidated here. I don't actually have to close them in order to make space. So I'm going to bring these over here and open them up a bit just so that you can see the resizing possibilities. And I think I'll end this part of the video here.